The sun hung low in the sky, casting an eerie glow over the hills surrounding Los Angeles. It was early January 2025, and the city was already gripped by an unprecedented wildfire season. Thousands of acres were ablaze, with flames consuming everything in their path. Among the chaos, one man's life would change forever as he faced a harrowing experience that would reveal shocking truths about the world and himself. Before we start, we'd like to ask for your support. If you enjoy our video, please hit the like button. This will help us reach more people and create content for you. Now let's get started with today's video. The day of the fire. John Miller, a 42-year-old firefighter, had spent the last 20 years battling blazes across California. His dedication to his job was unwavering, but he often felt the toll of the relentless fires. On this fateful day, he received a call about a new fire that had erupted in the Palisades area. The team quickly mobilized, and John, filled with a mix of determination and anxiety, drove towards the inferno. As they arrived at the scene, the sky was choked with smoke, and the air was thick with heat. The fire raged uncontrollably, devouring everything it touched. John and his team immediately began to strategize, setting up containment lines and preparing to fight the flames. But as they worked, the wind shifted, and suddenly, the fire exploded, racing toward them with a ferocity that took their breath away. Caught in the flames. In the chaos that ensued, John found himself separated from his team. Panic surged through him as he realized he was surrounded by flames. He ran, trying to find a way out, but the fire closed in around him. Just as he felt the heat sear his skin, everything went dark. The near-death experience. In that moment of darkness, John experienced something he had never imagined possible. He felt himself floating, detached from his body. There was no pain, only an overwhelming sense of peace. As he moved through the darkness, a brilliant light appeared in the distance. Drawn to it, he felt a force guiding him forward. As he approached the light, he found himself in a vast, open space filled with colors and sounds beyond anything he had ever experienced. It was as if he were in a different dimension, one where time and space had no meaning. And then, he saw figures, beings of light that radiated love and understanding. They welcomed him, and John felt a profound sense of belonging, revelations of truth. As he interacted with these beings, John began to receive visions, snapshots of his life, the world, and the consequences of human actions. He saw the fires not just as natural disasters, but as manifestations of deeper issues. The first vision showed him the earth scorched and barren, a landscape stripped of its beauty due to neglect and greed. He witnessed scenes of deforestation, pollution, and climate change, the choices made by humanity that had led to this moment. He saw the interconnectedness of all life and how every action had a ripple effect on the environment. The truth struck him like a lightning bolt. The wildfires were not just natural occurrences but a culmination of human disregard for nature. In another vision, John found himself standing in a community devastated by the flames. He saw families displaced, children crying, and elderly residents in despair. But amidst the destruction, he also witnessed acts of kindness and resilience. Neighbors helped each other, volunteers brought supplies, and the community banded together. This gave him hope, a glimmer of light amid the darkness. A message from the beings of light. The beings of light conveyed a message to John, one that resonated deeply within him. They urged him to understand that humanity had the power to change its course. "You are the stewards of the earth," they said. "Your choices shape the world around you. Every act of kindness, every effort to heal the planet, creates a better future." As the visions continued, John saw the potential for a world transformed. He envisioned sustainable practices, communities thriving in harmony with nature, and a global movement to combat climate change. He felt the urgency of the message. The time for action was now. Returning to reality. Just as quickly as the experience began, John felt a pull, a tether to his physical body. The light began to fade, and he realized it was time to return. Reluctantly, he was drawn back into his body, waking up in a hospital bed, surrounded by the familiar sounds of beeping machines and hushed voices. He opened his eyes to find his partner, Sarah, sitting beside him, tears in her eyes. Relief washed over her face as she saw him awake. "You were trapped in the fire, John. We thought we lost you," she said, her voice trembling. John struggled to sit up, the memories of his experience flooding back. He knew he had been given a second chance, not just at life, but to share the message he had received. "I saw it, Sarah. I saw the truth behind the wildfires," he said, his voice shaking with emotion. "We have to do something. A new mission." With his body healing, John began to plan his next steps. He reached out to local community leaders, environmental organizations, and fellow firefighters to share his experience. He spoke at schools and community centers, spreading awareness about the importance of environmental stewardship and the impact of climate change. John emphasized the need for sustainable practices, urging people to reduce waste, conserve resources, and advocate for policies that protect the environment. He organized community cleanup events, tree planting initiatives, and workshops on fire prevention. His passion inspired many, and soon, a movement began to take shape. Impact on the community. As the community rallied around John's message, they saw tangible changes. Local businesses adopted eco-friendly practices, schools incorporated environmental education into their curricula, and residents became more aware of their impact on the planet. Together, they worked to create a culture of responsibility and care for the earth. Months passed, and John continued to share his story. His near-death experience had ignited a fire within him, a fire for change. He witnessed a shift in the community's mindset, as people began to understand the connection between their actions and the world around them. Reflections on life and death. John often reflected on his experience and the lessons he had learned. He understood that life was fragile, and each moment should be cherished. The near-death experience had opened his eyes to the beauty of existence and the importance of connection, both with nature and with each other. He also recognized the power of hope. Even in the face of disaster, communities could come together to create change. He believed that the wildfires, while devastating, served as a wake-up call for humanity to reevaluate its priorities and actions. As the next wildfire season approached, John felt a renewed sense of purpose. He had faced death and returned with a mission: to inspire others to care for the planet and take action against the challenges it faced. The truths he had seen during his near-death experience were now his guiding light. In the midst of the chaos, he had discovered a profound connection to life, a realization that the choices made today would shape the world of tomorrow. Please subscribe my YouTube channel. I hope you like this video. Thank you.